Hello. Welcome to our first TheEndStep.
Yeah, this is the first ever TheEndStep.com playtest video. We're testing post-gate crash standard. So if you see some Sharpie cards, those cards are not out yet.
Or we don't own them.
Or we don't own them yet, but most of them are owned, but the gate crash cards obviously are not.
Yes. So we do apologize for Sharpiness, but playing with cards.
Like, all my dual lands are real. I don't know about James's.
They're in the mail. Alright, let's do our obligatory cuts and our dice roll. We get to start our own dice roll stories.
Woo! Oh, looking good. Looking good.
Great start for the first. Alright.
I think I'll be on the play.
Yeah, I think it will too. Everything good?
Yep.
Yeah, can you get that on there?
Yeah. Can you see my hand like this?
I can't, no.
All right, good.
Can the camera see all of
Yeah.
it?
If you do this, you can see the hand. Yeah, this is not like a really crazy aggressive hand, but yeah, I like it. Mainly because of this card.
Yeah, you can like talk about your hand without like trying to give me too much information. Yeah. I don't even hold this up. I'm mulliganing because it's 7 lands.
All right, well that's an easy one. That makes my hand even better.
Yep, mulligans are generally pretty good for my opponent.
Especially the way the hand is like developed. You having one less answer will benefit me.
So, yeah, don't look at the thing.
Yeah.
I just hope I get in. We've got all our colors. We've got a little bit of stall time, and hopefully if we can get to the late game with this, we will be able to stabilize. But it's kind of sketchy, but it's a 6, and we got to keep it because it's a 6 that's playable. So I'm keeping.
Yep, all right. Temple Garden, go.
I'll play a really shitty looking Godless Shrine.
That Godless Shrine is very ugly. I'll draw. That's a pretty good draw. Let's see here. Rupon Craig, Farseek.
Yep, it's good play.
Good. I will get a very exciting land though. Woo! Sacred Foundries.
Whoa! What are those?
That feels so much better than getting a Blood Crypt just to get red.
So here I'm gonna play a untapped Shockland, taking a 2 life because
You want to counter my next thing?
Because my hand has lots of effects that would be very good on his turn. So if I bring it into tap, I can't do that, and I obviously want to do that. So to me, being able to play my hand on his turn is worth paying the 2 life. So I'm going down to 18.
And generally, we're fine with him doing this as well because it does pressure him, but he also could be bluffing it. We have enough gas that we can just probably run stuff into his counterspells. Let's see. Headmaster.
Well, let's go into resolve.
Excellent. I'll go to 22.
All right.
Go to Headmaster and a wolf, and you're going to Dimir Charm my Headmaster in the turn.
Are you ending the turn?
I am in the turn.
Dimir Charm Headmaster.
Look at that. I called that.
Now, that was an absolutely excellent line of play. We got off a very dangerous threat, seeing as we're playing a slow control deck, off the table, and I'm able to follow it up wonderfully with an Augur of Bolest to thus negate the remainder of his Headmaster, keeping board parity in my favor.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Unfortunately, we're going to whip some really good cards to the bottom of the deck because Augur's a jerk.
That's what I like to hear.
I'm going to play another Shockland tap because we don't need the mana for anything. There is no 1 white or blue drop in our deck.
Right.
And pass the turn.
And it's not worth bluffing a 1 mana spell. Alright, we're drawing some lands here. Let's attack for 2.
If he wants to use a card to make to kill my Augur Bolas, I'm totally okay with that. So otherwise, I'm just taking 2 damage, and I'd rather him waste a card, so I'm gonna block.
All right, good. Second main phase.
All right.
Thragtusk.
You got a Thragtusk.
27. 27-18. Correct?
Correct.
All right, pass.
So Thragtusk could prove problematic, simply because it's very obviously a great value creature, and I have to kill it multiple times. So I'm going to play an island.
Supreme Verdict.
And I'm going to pass the turn.
Restoration Angel.
Yes, I'm playing Restoration Angel in my Esper deck.
You might be.
Sideboard.
Alright, so I guess we're going to have to believe him that he doesn't have Restoration Angel. We're gonna swing with both guys.
Alright, because I'm mulligan to 6, and I am a little bit behind the pedal with the Thragtusk, I have to be a little aggressive to find an answer. So I'm going to flash in a Snapcaster Mage.
Okay.
And target Dimir Charm.
Dimir Charm. Alright.
And I'm going to cast Dimir Charm 4 blocks.
Okay.
With the mode to look at the top 3 of my deck.
Yeah, let's look at the top 3. You choose 1 for your hand.
Well, no, 1 stays on top, and the other 2 get milled.
Okay.
So, flash that back.
You got it.
I'm going to keep this one up on top just to keep digging, and the other 2 can get milled.
It's not revealed, right?
No.
Okay.
Mill 2 lands. Now I'm going to move to blocks, and I am going to attempt to trade with the Thragtusk. Could be holding up an Angel, which is going to save me the damage anyway. But I'm going to attempt to trade with the Thragtusk because I just need to get its first form off the table. You're dealing with the 3/3 is much easier than the 5/3.
Yeah, unfortunately I don't have the Mr. Angel, or you'd be snapped down. So yes, we'll trade.
And I'll take 2, going to 16.
16. Sorry, toes down. Get a beast. Let's see. We're going to play land for turn.
Yep.
And we're going to Farseek.
Yep. Not gonna lie, it feels good to be playing some Magic.
Yeah, me too. It's been a while. Last time we played was the modern SCG tournament.
Yeah.
Temple Garden, go.
Alright. Now, based off of what I have right now, and obviously my draw step, I'm feeling a lot better with the situation, simply because my 6 was more ideal for this kind of, the way this game is progressing and how long this game is taking for him to put any real solid pressure on me.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm not happy with it.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm stabilizing. I'm making land drops. Unfortunately, I had to mill 2 lands, but it's worth the card I picked up.
Yeah, one of your main win conditions.
Yeah. So, I'm just a slow deck, so I'm going to pass the turn. Drynyard is this deck's main win condition, and as long as the deck's built fine to deal with all the kinds of threats, I can easily drown someone out.
Swing.
I'm going to respond to his combat by think twicing. Maybe get a lucky hit.
Sure.
I do not. And I'm going to...
Think twice again?
No. 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 Dimir Charm the Wolf token.
Sure.
Just to keep more damage and slow down his clock even further.
You go to 13?
Yep.
Okay, so again, we're still flooding pretty badly here. Play another land. Play another Farseek.
Yep. I'm really, really happy about all of this. It means my hand is extremely live.
It really doesn't matter what shock land we get. We have like perfect mana at this point.
Yeah. Thank you, Sacred Foundry.
Pass.
So we're untapping at 13 when he has one card in hand. This is like a very, very, very good sign for us. Going to keep up our colors, play an Isolated Chapel, and we're going to pass the turn.
How many cards do you have in hand?
I have 2.
Alright, well hopefully my 1 is better than your 2.
Hopefully.
I don't think it is though.
Hopefully for you, anyway.
Oh god, it's not a good top deck. Unfortunately, I'd really like one of my action lands right now with all this land in play, namely Wolf Run. Alright, swing.
Yep. I don't feel like I'm going to start drowning him out yet, because I feel like I want a little more hold on the board state, so I'm going to flashback a Think Twice.
Sure.
Sure. That resolves.
Of course it resolves. It's already on the play.
Yep.
10?
What a 10. Yep, you can have an Arbor Elf. Alright.
I want a Wolf Run. Right now.
So, I don't think we could lose. My hand is turning out very, very well.
Oh, no.
So I have played my land drop. I am going to play Jace.
Sure.
Seeing as how my hand is shaping up, I feel like I'm going to be a little aggressive with my Jace, so I'm going to -2. We're revealing a Watergrave, a Tameo, and a Terminus. And he's going to have to make really, really crappy piles. I should not flick my cards as often. Even though I mulligan to 6, you can see how if he stumbles, I can really punish his draws.
Yeah, this is essentially like worst pile ever. Like, I give him a sweeper for my 2 guys, or I give him a Tameo and a Jace. Granted, it looks like I'll be able to take out the Jace. I mean, you could have another removal spell for it, but I think I'm going to give him... I'm going to give him the Tameo.
Alright, based on my hand, I'm clearly going to take the Tameo, plus a land.
Yeah, it's almost a no-brainer.
And then I've already played my land drop, so I'll pass the turn.
Wow. Continually get punished. Attack Jace.
I'm going to ultimate price your Beast token.
Sure.
And Jace will take 1, keeping Jace alive. Yep. So we pretty much got him under lock and key now.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we just draw more Fuel for the Fire.
So this is kind of the issue with like the Naya Midrange deck, because you are playing like rampy stuff as well. Without the Wolf Run, these kind of like mana dork top decks are pretty awful.
Yeah, Wolf Run's definitely the best.
Yeah, with the Wolf Run, it's like they're not nearly as bad.
I'm gonna +1 the Jace.
Sure.
And press my advantage with the Tameo.
You got it.
And I'm gonna tap down a Sacred Foundry. Tameo's tap ability is pretty irrelevant, but now he has to play all of his good threats into my active Tameo. Pass turn.
Yeah, Jace plus Tameo is going to be pretty awful, and wow, we just keep breaking, like, pretty much as bad as you can.
Unless he has a solid answer right now for either of my Planeswalkers, which is pretty hard to come by, I'm going to be able to stabilize, and lock down the board with these two planeswalkers, and then drive them out of the game pretty quickly from there on out.
Well, yeah, the fact that he actually tapped the Sacred Foundry is really bad. Like, we had an answer to Tamiyo if he didn't do that. We're going to bonfire for 3.
Okay.
We're going to redirect our damage to Jace.
Okay.
Fortunately, we could have done 5 if we had our Sacred Foundry, because we had the mana dorks to do that.
So it wasn't that it locked down the Foundry, but it land in general.
Yeah, it didn't matter the Foundry, it was just the land itself was relevant.
So, alright, so I'm taking no damage and Jace is just dying.
Right.
Alright.
We'll attack Tamiyo.
Alright, Tamiyo's going to go to 3.
And we'll keep playing mana guys, because that's how we draw.
Right.
Like, I feel like we can't play around like an obvious sweeper he has, because like a mana guy without a wolf run is pretty relevant. And if he 3-for-1s us, like, we're in the same awful spot we are now anyway, so go. Like, I feel like at least I have 3 guys in play. He locks down a guy. I can at least get 2 damage into Tamiyo if he doesn't have the sweeper.
So we drew a land that I'm going to play, and that's very, very good.
This deck have Drown Yard plus.
Really likes its land drops. So
3, 2, 4, 5, yeah.
I could tap a guy, but he's still going to be racing Tamiyo, so she's not going to really go anywhere. So I feel like he's pulled a trigger on my hand, and I have to re-stabilize and make Tamiyo a very serious threat once again. So I'm going to sever the Bloodline your Arbor Elves.
Yep.
And then tap down your Absence Pilgrim.
You got it.
Now Tamiyo is almost entirely out of reach considering he has no hand size, and I can pass the turn in safety.
Yeah, essentially I want Thundermount Hellcat right now is the card I want. And him not having an answer, obviously, but how many cards do you have in here?
1.
Pass.
I feel like I can start pushing some damage, so I'm gonna melee for 3.
Oh, good. Aurelia's Fury, Restoration Angel, and Arbor.
Oh, seems pretty decent.
So yeah, Aurelia's Fury, one of the new cards that we're excited to try out. Would have been good a long time ago when I could have time locked him.
Now that we have all of our mana available to us, I'm just gonna play a Hallowfound untapped, going down to 8, and keep the Absence Pilgrim tapped and say go.
Nine for turn, go.
I'm going to end the turn, win the game. So once again, even though I mulled a 6, I was able to... My draw was arguably a little slightly more aggressive than his because he didn't play anything till a Huntmaster of the Fells, and I had like a very good answer for that. So I was able to stay alive till the late game.
Yeah, I mean turn 3 Huntmasters, so it's like not...
Yeah. So Dimir Charm is like pretty good against Huntmaster in my opinion.
Yeah, I figured you had it, but I figured it had the follow-up Thragtusk. I did not anticipate flooding out that badly.
Right, yeah, of course, you did flood out.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I couldn't have played around Dimir Charm at all. So like it didn't prove awful to cast it at that point anyways. Granted, if you had the counterspell and I flooded out, it would have been even worse.
Are we doing 3 or 5?
So yeah, the Naya deck runs 24 land. I do think I want to add more wolf runs. I mean, especially now that the mana is better, I feel like I can support it because I just want one every game.
How many lands did you say?
Especially against control decks, like it's just the best card.
How many lands did you say?
24. I'll be on the play.
All right.
So hopefully we'll get some mana dorks early instead of drawing 3 late game. That's generally the plan. So this is one of the differences I made with the newer version of Naya is it has 3 more mana guys. This is awful. 3 Drag Tusks and 1 land.
All right. This hand's borderline, but we do have colors. Arguably could use a little bit more colors, but the hand curves out very, very well. Threat, consistency is what I would label that. So we should be able to punish any good draws, especially if we're looking at 6, pretty effectively. So I'm going to keep this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like these kind of decks, the Mana Dork kind of decks, do mulligan okay, especially if they have a decent curve still. You can set a tempo early, especially when you have like turn 1 guy into like Luxon Smiter. It can sometimes make up for the lack of a card. But at the same time, you can get a weird hand with like 3 mana guys. Then you're kind of up shit's creek. Especially now that we know he's playing Sever the Bloodline, we got to be a little more careful playing like same cards. Try to play around that a little bit. We don't know how many he has at this point. It's definitely tough when your deck's all 4s as well, which mine is. How many cards did I draw? So this has lands and spells, but really, really slow. This card's pretty spicy, but I don't think it's going to do enough. He just will take over the end game, and this is not fast enough. So I'm going to mulligan again. So like obviously, if we had our 7-card hand, now the draw becomes much nicer. Not great, but definitely I would have kept it. So we're on 5 cards now. Really just hoping for like something decent at this point.
Hopefully we can get an early scoop out of them.
Yeah, this can get easily punished, but it's about as good as we can hope for with a 5-card hand. So we have some lands, some spells. Not the greatest mix, but what are you going to do? All right, we're going to play Clifftop, tapped, and pass the turn.
All right, we're going to play Watergrave tapped and pass the turn back.
We really want to top deck Farseek right now is what we want. It's like the ideal draw. So that's not the Farseek. So we're going to pass the turn back. Farseek's generally what you want to be doing on turn 2 anyways. Like every hand wants Farseek pretty much.
Again, because our hand plays very well on his turn, we're going to play another Shockland, Godless Shrine untapped. I'm going to 18.
Ooh, I win.
And pass the turn.
Alright, so we want to draw a land at this point, and we just don't. Yep. This game's going to be real fast. Go.
Because we want to continue to punish his hand, I'm going to hold on to this just so I can use this appropriately and probably lock the game up from that point out. And we drew a land that I could play because Shocklands are awesome. Isolated Chapel into Liliana the Veil.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So I'm going to
pretty bad.
Take her up and have us both discard. And I discard a Think Twice.
Wow, that's good value, Town.
A blank. Yep. I'll pass the turn.
We're almost at scoop territory at this point. We're so far behind. We have no pressure, no board. He's an active Liliana, just going to wreck our hand.
Mm-hmm. He literally can't play any creature or else I just kill it.
Yeah. It's like the best we could have is Huntmaster, but we're so far away from casting Huntmaster. We'll give it another draw step. Go.
I'm going to put a... Our colors are being a little constrictive right now, but we're going to put a win condition Drown Out on the table.
Alright, so you have just single blue, right?
Just single blue, yeah. I don't really want to discard any of these because I'd rather continue punishing his draws.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't do anything with Liliana. She's a big enough threat to just sit there.
Yeah.
Especially on 4 where she can double edict.
Right. What I do think I'm going to do is I'm going to aggressively Dimir Charm him to rig the top of his deck.
You're a jerk, huh?
Yep.
These guys. Go
so I'm going to look at the top
me.
3. Well, he's not getting the Farseek or the land, so leave that on top and put the 2 cards that he wants in his graveyard.
That's nice, yeah. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And then we've got this up just in case he does do something. This might not end up getting cast, might get fit to Liliana at some point, but our hand's like pretty solid, so we're going to pass the turn. As he draws his 5-drop that he doesn't want.
Good. I want to see why he was doing that. Like I felt like he didn't have another answer to my stuff. He was trying to lock me out of land screw.
So
I almost feel like if I draw a few lands, I'll be back in this game.
Yeah, that's what he thinks. I'm going to play a Howled Famine.
Alright, now he has another blue. So.
Untapped.
If he has a Tameo here, we're all done.
No, sir. No Tameo. But I do have a Jace.
Yeah, Jace is pretty bad, too.
Now we get to -2 him in no danger whatsoever. And then I draw a card that can discard to Liliana.
Oh, good.
And a second one. And a counterspell.
What is this one?
That's the...
that's the blue-black one. Yeah, we were talking about earlier.
Counter-target spell and...
Mill 2, right?
Mill 2.
Oh, that's awesome. It's a fun game, James. I feel like he's so far ahead, like he's just gonna keep minusing Jace. So if I give him the Jace, he can just minus, which seems pretty awful. But then I can give him counterspell plus 2 cards. Seems pretty awful as well. So those are my piles.
I really want to pressure my...
I feel like they're pretty even piles. Like they're both card advantage. Granted, the one with the counterspell gives them a guaranteed way to interact.
Yeah, I like the counterspell quite a bit, so I'm going to take these 2. And I think we can actually throw our thing twice away. So I'm going to plus the Liliana.
That's not a problem. I got plenty of stuff to throw away.
Yeah.
How about a Garrick?
Well, you saw my thing twice. We made my land drop already, so we're going to pass the turn.
Yeah, we're done.
All right. So using the Dimir Charm there might have been unnecessary or overly aggressive, but I feel like it locked up. It guaranteed me another turn of him not being in the game. So I just get further and further ahead.
So I don't have a ton of sideboard action against him. These 2 are obviously very good. I mean, he has some graveyard shenanigans, so we do have Rest in Peace. It's considerable. The worst card right now immediately is Bonfire. It's just disgusting in this matchup. Like, you just don't want it. Like, yeah, I can kill a Planeswalker, but it's not where you want to be. It just gets stuck in your hand. So the Bonfires come out immediately. I like pretty much all the creatures. I mean, the mana guys aren't great, but if you have them turn 1, they're just bananas and you can get so far ahead.
So I have a Verdict in my board, and that's like probably the best place you want to be against a mid-range strategy.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty sweet.
I'm definitely going to upgrade to a Verdict in my main, and I also really like Vampire Nighthawk as an aggressive strategy because it'll trade with all of his creatures, has lifelink to put the race further in my favor. The Summoner Growth is up for debate because he is playing white, so I could expect some kind of O-Ring or some more like enchantment-based interaction. And these 9 decks do tend to play like in Triumph of Frosty like you're playing.
Yeah.
And that card can be like really back-breaking, so I'm definitely gonna bring that in. I'm trying to devour flesh in my sideboard, and I think it's like really sweet because my main mission is to mill you out, so I could literally care less about what kind of life you're gaining. And I have plenty of like small remove like Dimir Charms to take out your mana dorks to keep Devour Flesh pretty live when you're good big guys. And it's instant speed, so I can get a Thundermaw Hellkite if that's all he's got available.
Yeah, so he like has pretty much what we don't want to see. It's like phenomenal against us.
Duress doesn't feel good enough
Yeah, the
because
rest
it's
is not good
generally
enough.
a creature spell. Dispel, while it might hit some sweet stuff, doesn't hit nearly enough. Same thing with Negate. And Slips is too difficult to turn on in this matchup.
Yeah, and you have better removal anyways.
Yeah.
Like removal is all much better against me.
Yeah.
The rest of my sideboard is like mono red hate because it's a tough matchup. Zombies. The other mid-range decks have Angel of Serenity against, and then I have Rest in Peace against Reanimator. And it's a potential for this deck, but I just don't think I want to cut any guys to bring it in. Like if I 100% knew he had Nighthawk, I might leave some number of bonfires in, and it's a decent guess that he would have it just based on his really black commitment because of Liliana. But we have some pieces of removal anyways to deal with it.
So my boarding is proving to be fairly difficult because I want to bring in a lot of like really focused stuff. So I want to upgrade a lot of my spells, but I feel like a lot of my spells are already really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a couple of Termini because I'm bringing in lots of creatures and more solid spot removal. So I need to rely a little less on board wipes, and I'm bringing in a better board wipe that's much more efficient. So I'm cutting at least 2 Terminuses. I am playing quite a few. I could see cutting a Jace because he's pretty slow, and he might only like, pull me out of a situation when it's already too far gone. And he's really only good in terms of +1 when you're just like on the mono mana dork playing.
Yeah, like it was crazy that first game because I had all 3 mana guys and nothing else.
I'm probably not really losing that game anyway. Dimir Charm seemed really good, but I could upgrade it for better removal. But I think I actually really like it. I want to give it a little more credit. I could see cutting a Cyclonic Rift. Maybe some counter spells. Like, my decks typically don't play Cavern of Souls because it's kind of taxing on the mana, but the way the mana has been doing is getting better for them. They might be able to play that.
Yeah, you can fit 2 in the deck now.
I feel like I can cut a Liliana because if it's against Thragtusk or Unmaster, she's not going to do nearly enough. So I could cut a Liliana, but she's still like very, very good. Gonna cut 1 Dimir Charm. I mean, it's kind of just like shaving off at this point.
I don't think you need the Sundering Growth.
You don't think I need the Sundering Growth?
I don't think so.
I don't really have terribly many ways to interact, but like enchantments aren't typically that great against us anyway because we're not playing any like big creatures. It's our planeswalkers, but we're not exactly super high up on the planeswalkers list. I mean, I could try not bringing in the growth. I could cut a 3rd Terminus though. Like, it's very good, but if I'm bringing in Nighthawks and like more removal spells, I might be able to like make parity much easier. And like I really only need 1 Terminus or 1 Verdict to like lock the game up in our favor. So I'm gonna try this.
I'm very happy to see those Terminuses go away. I'd much rather fight a Nighthawk than a Terminus. Hopefully we'll have a Wolf run this game.
Yeah.
And actually get a game in. Hopefully you get to see like what this Naya deck is capable of. We haven't really got a good view of it yet. We'll be on the play.
Alright. So this hand seems like pretty good. I can deal with a very, very large amount of threats. And I've got good mana, and I've got something to stall out. So I'm easily going to keep this hand.
Yeah, this is a snap keep on my end. It's almost the best hand you could have. It's a nice curve. It has a nice varied mix of stuff. I can get tricky with it. I got all my colors. So I'm pretty much ecstatic about this hand.
Yeah, I can't cast non-creature spells, by the way, on Fury.
Okay, thank you. And taps creatures.
Yep, that got
which
pinged.
won't be relevant in this matchup. Well, maybe. Let's see. We're going to lead off with Temple Garden, taking 2.
All right, he's clearly playing Mana Dork here.
Yeah, 100%. There's no way to bluff that.
Yep.
Pass
And
turn.
that's really good for him being on the play because it punishes me being on the draw quite a large amount. And then we drew like the worst draw we possibly could.
Yeah, I mean, this draw is really good, and like I'm hoping this is good enough. If this hand is good enough against this deck, like this deck might not be playable anymore.
I'm gonna play Holophone tapped and say go.
Sure, excellent. We love that.
Yeah,
That's a really sweet draw we just had right there. So
he's extremely far ahead at this point already.
yeah, we're happy about this draw so far. We're also going to shock ourselves again. This is a little bloody, but putting a lot of pressure here. Use the Arbor Elf to untap the Temple Garden and play Smiter.
Yep, that's exactly what I was hoping you wouldn't have.
Pass. So this guy's pretty sweet because he dodges his Dimir Charm. If he also has the Edict here, I guess I can lose the Arbor Elf at this point because...
Yeah. Yeah, Smiter's pretty good against dodging quite a large amount of removal.
Doesn't die at ultimate price.
So I guess I'm sort of looking for an answer at this point, which is, not a good spot to be in. So I'm going to... I don't want him to play a Hunt Master because that's just going to compound the entire problem. So I'm going to ultimate price his Arbor Elf to try and slow him down just a little bit because Arbor Elf's very good for him right now.
Yep, that does slow me down slightly.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to get beat up by a Smiter for a little while, but got to take hits as a control deck, so I'll pass the turn.
Alright, that's a pretty good draw. We're going to get our beats in while we can. 4.
Alright, 16. 16,
we're at parity. Because he killed our elf, where we did lose a turn. So we're going to play Stomp the Ground tapped and play Pilgrim.
Alright.
And we're going to pass turn.
So we're just trying to buy as much time as we can. The draws haven't been exactly very good.
Nice thing about our board position right now is we have a 4-turn clock on him, just with the Smiter.
Yeah.
So he has to answer the Smiter. So we don't have to really overextend at this point. We can play maybe one more guy, but the nice thing is we have gas after he wraths.
Yeah,
which is what he's digging for, is what he wants right now.
Unfortunately, I feel like I really need to find a land. Otherwise, we might be stuck. So I'm going to have to take a break for a turn, which is really upsetting. And I'm going to Dimir Charm to dig for a land for next turn, which is not what I want to be doing. But the way my hand's shaping up, if I don't make some land drops, I could be dead very quickly.
That's also telling us he really either has that verdict or wants that verdict, because if he really needs his 4th land, it just screams verdict to me. So
so we're going to keep this one on top. That's an easy bin, and this is just better color fixing for us. So we're going to put a Think Twice and a Catacombs in the yard.
Okay.
So we're getting a lot of value from our Dimir Charms.
Yeah, the Dimir Charm plus Think Twice is sweet interaction. I'm liking that so far.
Yeah. So I'm going to pass the turn, and unfortunately I have to take a beating. I can only hope he doesn't have a Hellkite or something. It'd be really bad for me, but with how aggressive his start was with the Arbor Elf, I have to take these risks.
So we think he's almost 100% wrathing next turn, so it doesn't really prove much to play another guy out. So we're going to hit with the Smiter.
Okay. 12?
12, yep. 12, 16 is what I got. We're going to pass the turn here. Try not to play into a verdict.
So he could be trying not to play into verdict, like he's saying, or just holding it for a nice Restoration Angel.
Yeah, it's very obvious bluff at the very least.
Yeah.
The fact that it didn't get in an obvious 1 damage on the Pilgrim.
Yeah, you want the mana for something.
That's what she was because these decks have Restoration Angel, but now could have Aurelia's Fury, potentially you can blow up that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like I could have Aurelius Fury'd him upkeep for 2 and locked him out for a turn, which would have been pretty sweet.
So I'm going to make a land drop, which is like what I want to be doing, and pass the turn. I think I want to use this to try and make another land drop, but I've also got to think twice in the yard. But if he does indeed have the Restoration Angel, I might need to have a more aggressive strategy.
Yeah, we're gonna push the Restoration Angel since he didn't verdict half his clock.
We're gonna let that go.
Okay. So that means he probably has ultimate price when I attack. Declare attacks.
Sure.
We're gonna get in there with everybody this time.
So we're letting him get to the declare attack step, just so we know for sure that we don't get hell-kited. So once we're in the declare attacks, we're definitely going to ultimate price the angel.
Okay. Yeah, call that.
And everything else is fine.
Take 5. You can drop me to 7.
Yep.
I'm gonna play land, and we're gonna pass.
So end of turn, we're going to play another Dimir Charm to set up the top of our deck.
Okay.
In a favorable position, hopefully. Yeah, we're getting closer here. Unfortunately, I want to go this route, but we really need to keep making our land drops. So we're going to keep the land on top, and we're going to put a Drown Yard and a Cyclonic Rift in the yard.
Okay. So that means he also could have a Snapcaster to snap the Rift.
We're going to play our Chapel, and then we're going to play a Augur of Bolas.
Sure.
All right. I'm going to reveal a Devour Flesh.
Sure.
And pass the turn.
So we know he has a Devour Flesh. He only has 3 mana up, so we know he can't do 2 removal spells here. Yeah, I feel like we're close to that tipping point where he could stabilize. Sure, we know he has 1 removal. How many cards do you have in hand?
3.
3, and he has two Think Twices in yard, right?
1.
1 Think Twice. So here's arguably another card if he wants it. End of turn. If I don't. It's a little risky, but I think I'm going to Thunder my Hellkite here.
So that's pretty bad for us. Like Thunder my Hellkite's like pretty large, but I think we can't let it slide no matter how large it is. So we're gonna Psychic Strike that. Yeah. So it counters any mill too. We got a Hunmaster and a Stomping Ground.
Yep.
Not a bad mill.
All right, so we can't attack with the Avacyn Pilgrim because he can realistically take the 4 off the Smiter, kill the Pilgrim, and then Devour Flesh on his turn. Taking my Smiter out, so like I really need the Pilgrim to live, so when he Devour Flesh I can kill the Pilgrim. Now that you have the counter for the Hellkite, so we're just going to get in there with the Smiter.
Because of that exact situation in the Devour Flesh off the Augur, we can buy a turn here by just jumping.
Yep.
Consider we're at 7, so we need to buy a little bit more time.
Pass. So the Psychic Strike was unfortunate because he would have been really close to dead if he didn't have it.
So we can make a land drop here, and we could hold it for Think Twices, but that's taking a lot of damage. Or we could go this. We could go this route but we could get pretty punished for doing that. But there's really no way to get around that. We'd rather not take 5, even if we can hope that he has a dead hand, or the hand that's kind of slow from this point out. But we just have to kind of go for it, and hope we can stabilize afterwards. So we're going to Terminus. We're also avoiding an End of Turn Restoration Angel, which would be like extremely punishing, because he's tapped out. So I'm going to pass the turn. Now our Devour Flesh that he knows we have is very, very live. Except against Huntmaster and Phil.
So yeah, so we've been sandbagging that Huntmaster for this exact situation. Land for turn and pass. So I gain 2. I go to 18.
Yeah. So once again, we're on the back foot, but
7.
There is lots of answers we could draw.
We're hoping he just kind of bricks here because we want the game to be over at this point.
So we're gonna cast a Think Twice to try and dig for another answer, and not exactly a good one. So we do have access to Devour Flesh, and he knows that.
Right.
So he can put us to 5, and then the 2 putting us to 3 with a Huntmaster flip if he decides to let us have a time walk turn, which might be a pretty good strategy because then he's just making one threat have to deal with it. So we're going to play a land. So we could realistically go to 1. There's really not much difference there because we're dead to Aurelius Fury no matter what. So I think I'm a fan of that. So we're gonna flashback to Think Twice.
Okay.
All right, that's a really good draw. We really just need to like stabilize here for a turn. So we could take 4 and go to 3 and still go to 1, or play a land, go to 5, go to 3, and then go to 1. So we're going to 1 no matter what. So I'm going to play land tapped and say go.
Alright, so we want like a Release Fury or a Hellcat here to wrap this game up. Fortunately, we did not draw it. Declare attacks.
Yep. So we're going to take 4 and go to 3 here.
Yep.
We're dead to like multiple cards, and we have no way to really play around them, so we just had to like take chances.
And we're going to pass the turn.
Yep.
Shocking him.
Going to 1.
And
yeah,
it's on your turn.
Yeah. All right. Well, we continue to draw pretty well. So we're gonna potentially be able to stabilize here. We're gonna sever the bloodline his Ravager of the Fells, get like a very serious threat off the table, and then we're gonna play Vampire Nighthawk.
Okay.
And we're gonna pass the turn. So we're pretty much putting him on a have it, or I'm gonna threaten to stabilize pretty quickly.
I am so happy you played that.
That Nighthawk. Ooh. All right. Well, he's got me. I guess I got a little greedy there. I just figured he might not have an answer for it. Oblivion Ring just didn't come to mind.
Yeah, so O-Ring was pretty amazing right there. We had that since our opener. We didn't need to use it until then.
Yep, that's my fault. I should have
kept Devour Flesh up.
I should have shown up for the Devour Flesh route.
Yeah, because it essentially was the same. Like, he just needed a way to not take damage from that guy. Whereas Devour Flesh was 100%, saving you, where the Nighthawk was not.
Yep.
Like, you were still dead to Thunder My Hellkite regardless.
Yeah. I did not play to my, not outs, but your outs.
Yeah. So, we got a game. Get a little lucky there. Probably we had a really aggressive draw that went well at the beginning. And then we petered out a little bit in the mid-game, but our early game was enough to keep that pressure up. Like, Smiter did a lot of work that game. He got a lot of damage in, so...
So did Dimir Charm. Dimir Charm did quite a bit.
Yeah, it really did.
I made a lot of land drops with that card.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty sweet card. Especially with Think Twice. It's like, it really... The fact that you're mill 2 is like, it really almost like, it's like mill 1. Because it's like you're actually getting a card by milling a Think Twice.
Right.
So, your choice.
I'll be on the play. I still don't think we want the Terminuses. I think he just had like a pretty good draw. Like, I know that's the goal of his deck. to have those draws. But I feel like we had lots of answers that could have gotten us out of that spot, no matter what. And Terminus was
yeah, I think the only thing I wanted more in that hand wasn't Aurelius Fury.
Yeah, the only thing that happened, unlucky that you didn't see, Adam, is that I drew Terminus turn 1.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So like an Miracle was a total waste. So the
Love
fact that it no longer was in my deck was problematic.
Right, because you cut down to 1.
But we cut down to 1, so like us drawing it is pretty slim. So we're immediately punished for having some certain cards in our deck, and I don't think we can justify it. If we had another black source, I might be more inclined to keep, but this hand is just going to get pummeled and run over.
I'm going to keep mine. It's kind of a weird hand, but it has this card, which is really good against him, and I'm pretty happy to see it. And I have 2 of these, which for the hand it's a little excessive, but you know, potentially could be pretty good. So we'll see. I think if we win this game, it's going to be on the back of this card, in this card. So we're going to keep. Plus, we know he's going to 6, so that just makes these other ones better too, and actually improves this card as well, because that means he has that many fewer draws to answer.
So this hand is better.
All right.
So we're gonna be keeping this hand. All right, we're gonna lead with a tapped water grave.
That's not a bad draw. There's a few things we would like to draw before that card, but we'll keep it. Let's see.
No choice.
Yeah, true. Play Sacred Foundry, go.
All right. I'm very glad I didn't have a mana dork there in turn 1.
Yeah, that's what we were hoping we were going to draw, was a mana guy right there.
Much more in my reach. So we're just going to keep up the goodness and play a Chapel and go. These are the games where you don't have a dork that I feel like I can win pretty handily.
We're going to play Grove into Farseek.
Now we're at a crossroads here. He didn't have a dork. You have a full grip, right? Or 6?
6 cards.
Yeah, we're gonna Dimir Charm now.
You got it. We're fine to see that. Go. We're hoping that he's really trying to punish us at this point, and he's gonna get punished instead.
We're gonna play Godless Shrine tap and say go.
All right, so we know he has potential cards. Could be like a removal spell for a mana dork, or a Luxton Smiter here. If I play Luxton Smiter, Devour Flesh would be pretty bad. So we're gonna first. We could play this turn, but it doesn't really do much right now. We'd really rather get ahead. So we're gonna do this and this. Farseek.
Yep, that one's gonna resolve. And I'm okay seeing a Farseek now because I've already slowed him down a turn, which means I get another land drop, and me making my land drops is very, very, very good.
All right, then we're gonna play Temple Guard untapped.
Okay. Good 18.
18, and we'll play the late to the party Absent Pilgrim.
Okay. How many cards do you have in your hand?
4.
So he's making all his land drops, and he's had Farseek, so I don't feel like I can really keep him off of 5 mana, but I also want to keep my Devour Fleshes in my deck pretty live. So we're going to just end a turn and ultimate price that.
You got it.
Killing mana dorks at this point in the game is like not necessarily the best. Like you always want to get him on turn 1 or turn 2, but still keeping his board clean is good for me.
Yeah, we're happy to see that because that means he has less removal for our more relevant spells. I do agree with his justification. Like he could be keeping me off of Thragtusk mana.
I'm going to play a Nagar Bolas and try and dig through my deck a little bit. We're going to reveal an ultimate price. I'll be pretty happy about it.
Yeah, we're not happy to see that, honestly.
And I'm going to pass the turn. So we're making some parity. Like we're getting to the point of the game where he could be playing much bigger threats. I've already like dealt with his early threats. So now we just got to make sure our hand can deal with things like Hamashes, Drag Tusks, and Restoration Angels.
We're gonna play Triumph for Ferocity.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
It's pretty lame on his dead board, but I'm gonna play an Absent Pilgrim, so maybe he'll then waste the ultimate price on that just because he wants a card.
So, near your upkeep, draw a card to control the creature with the greatest power or type for the greatest power. So you would draw a card.
Correct.
Right?
I would, yeah, unless you kill my guy, and then you would.
Wait, no.
No, I mean I won't. I should say.
Yeah, like nothing just happens.
Yeah, nothing happens. Yeah.
So we definitely don't want him drawing cards. So yeah, we're gonna pull the trigger on that ultimate price.
Okay.
Again, trying to keep the rest of the cards in our deck pretty alive. And we draw a land, and it's good. So we're gonna put a threat on the table in the form of Nefali Drownyard. And seeing as how there's really no ground hasters that Naya decks tend to play, we're gonna get in there for 1.
17.
The alternate win condition damage.
Yeah, I don't like it. You're all set, right?
Yeah, we're past the turn.
Yeah, how many cards in hand?
2.
We're gonna shock ourselves.
All right. 15?
Because last turn he actually did do his plan was to keep us off the Ragtest mana, and he did in fact do that. Yeah, 15, right?
Yep.
And we're gonna play Thragtusk. You could have the counter spell again that we've seen before. Just we hope he doesn't at this point.
I do not.
All right, sweet. Select
So it
resolves. Go to 20.
Yeah, so we're definitely not on the damage route once again.
Okay. The nice thing is Thragtusk is a little bit harder to deal with, and it looks like I'll be drawing some cards next turn.
Yeah.
And we're gonna pass.
The card drawing thing is what really like gets me the most that I don't like, but I still don't think it's worthy of me spending more cards to deal with the Thragtusk that isn't really going to solve the problem anyway.
Okay.
So we're gonna drown you at end of turn.
Okay.
Second Triumph would have been very bad.
That would have been sweet.
So go to my turn. Again, continue to make my land drop, which is like awesome. Play another Catacombs, and I'm gonna pass the turn.
All right, sweet. So we get to untap with Triumph with Thragtusk, so that's just like awesome value town. So we're gonna draw for Triumph, and then we're gonna draw for turn, and both those were awesome draws. Nice thing is, we have a nice threat here in our land.
Ooh, the Kessig Wolfrun is very good.
We're gonna declare attacks.
Yeah, you may declare.
Get in there with Thragtusk.
We're gonna block.
Sure.
Okay.
Pass.
We're going to mill you for 3.
1, 2, 3.
We got 2 good threats in the yard. I don't know what to deal with. Angel specifically being very good.
Yeah, we're like that angel.
I'm going to play land and pass the turn.
We're gonna angel.
Oh, well, would you look at that? So we're going to Psychic Strike that angel.
Okay.
Black, blue.
Mill 2, right?
Yep, and mill 2.
Ooh, Garrick. Ooh,
Ooh.
really like rid of that. That
Yep.
would have been phenomenal.
And pass the turn.
So we did tap him out slowly on his turn, which is not bad. Draw off the Triumph. Draw for turn.
Yeah, the Triumph's really like killing us.
Yeah, it does a lot of work. It's amazing how much that is great against control decks. Thragtusk, attack.
Oh, no blocks.
15.
The fact that he's not using his Wolfrun is kind of concerning. It means he still has plenty of gas in his hand.
That is exactly what it means.
If he passes the turn here, then I'm going to put him on Restoration Angel.
Pass the turn.
All right, he's got an angel. So we're going to not mill him this turn to hopefully keep him from playing his angel.
Okay.
So go to turn.
Okay.
Play to the land and say go.
We're going to angel again. End of turn. always want to do those on end of turn because if he's trying to make me do it on at the end of my turn, and I don't want to play into a Terminus or a Supreme Verdict.
Yeah. This Angel's just like really, really bad for us. We're just gonna play the Snapcaster.
Sure.
And the Psychic Strike it.
Sure. 1, 2, Huntmaster, Secret Foundry.
And we're gonna pass the turn. Jumping with our Snapcaster on Thragtusk really isn't going to do anything because he can just Wolf Run right past it. It's not going to save us, and it's not going to even get hit on the Thragtusk, so we're just going to keep the... We're not blocking with the Snapcaster. He can deduce that on his own. The fact that Triumph is keeping his hand full, and my hand is not full, means he's eventually going to just, like, thunder my Helikitis out of the game.
Yeah, I think I actually missed a trigger on Triumph. I'm going to shock myself.
So looking at his yard, I see 3 Angels, so that threat is slightly averted. But there's plenty of other threats here. So you're at 18?
Yeah. Yeah, I did miss a trigger on Triumph. Attack.
No blocks.
Sure. So we played the land, we weren't listening to what he was saying, we played the land aggressively so we could keep up Restoration Angel mana or other 4 mana stuff, and then still have Wolf Run for trample.
Yep.
Let's see. Card, you have a hand?
I have no hand.
Alright, yeah, we're going to start just Wolf Running like crazy here then.
Alright, so take on the 4.
Yeah, so 9 total.
Yep.
Drop you a 6. Right?
Yep.
I'm going to pass turn.
Alright, so it's looking pretty bad for us. There's not a whole lot of outs at this point.
Yeah, I don't think he really has outs. Even if he has Terminus here, like, he's just dead. Like, because I get a beast and I Wolf Run it.
I do have the Terminus.
Do you have Think Twice or anything?
No, I'm gonna Terminus him.
Sure.
Terminus here. And then...
Hope I missed my beast trigger.
Yeah, you're not going to. I'm gonna just draw myself.
Okay. Yep, play your outs.
And I'm not gonna flip anything. I'm not playing Lingering Souls, but even then it wouldn't do anything. So it's gonna be a scoop.
Yeah, so I had Thundermaw, Thragtusk, and Huntmaster in hand.
Yeah, I got pretty...
Yeah, you hit all your land drops, but you actually needed to miss some of your land drops that game and actually draw action.
I'm actually wondering if Nighthawk is good enough. It might be better as just the Terminuses.
Try it.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I really like Nighthawk in mid-range matchups, but he might be more mono red friendly. So I think I'm just gonna try cutting my Nighthawks.
I mean, me personally, I think I'm more afraid of Nighthawk. Honestly, I can play around Terminus when I can.
Right, but Terminus slows down the game way more than Nighthawk does.
Oh yeah,
and you can't just kill a Nighthawk.
Right. I don't have a ton of ways to kill it, but I can.
Yeah, and you can't. It's not like you can counterspell a Terminus.
It's called Aurelius Fury.
Oh. Yeah. I believe so.
So Triumph was amazing there. That just shows you why it's a sideboard card and why it's phenomenal against control decks.
This hand could be a little bit better, but I think I like it because it's got a fairly decent looking curve, and this card is actually surprisingly good. We do expect hope our draws to be a little bit better, to be a little bit above average, but if they're not, we could probably make something work. And plus, we got this guy to fix the hand.
So my hand sucks.
Yep.
Yeah, even that was not going to get there. So
I probably should have actually boarded in the Summoning Growth once I saw the Triumph. Just because the Triumph was so good.
Triumph and O-Ring, so you get 4 enchantments to hit.
Yeah.
I don't know if you still want it though. You have Detention Sphere. I mean, you have how many Detention Spheres do you have? 1? Okay.
Someone's got to get cut.
I don't know. It feels like it should be at least 2.
I could put some more on my sideboard. My sideboard is very rush.
Yeah, I almost like a Detention Sphere over the Sundering Growth.
Kind of. Sundering Growth is much more Snapcast friendly.
True, but Sphere is infinitely more versatile. So 6 cards. I never like to be down cards against a control deck.
Yeah.
It always feels bad.
A good triumph draw could pull you right out of it.
Yeah, so this is a pretty good 6-card hand. Yeah, nice curve. We're happy to see this hand.
All right. I'm going to play a Water Reef Tap. So you
go. That's a good card, but don't really want to see that right now. I'm going to play Stomping Ground, go to 18.
Sure.
And Arbor Elf.
All right. Oh, I would love to kill that Arbor Elf.
I am sure you would.
Unfortunately, all I had was a Chapel.
Sweet.
So we're going to play an Argar Bolas and dig to a spell that can interact with him. And we're going to reveal a Psychic Strike.
That is relevant.
And I'm going to pass. I really like Strike here. Like, I'm really happy I flipped that because if he has a Smiter, I can't counter it anyway. And anything after that, he can't play this upcoming turn, so Strike's going to be relevant.
Farseek.
Oh, yep. And now I definitely am 100% happy. It's not a Smiter, because if he had a Smiter there, he was definitely going to play it.
Yeah, you never know.
He's trying to fool me.
We're done.
All right. So I know the game's really early, but I feel in a very, very commanding position, especially with a decent draw like that. So we're going to play Drown Catacombs to make sure we have Psychic Strike mana available. And seeing as how damage is never going to be like a kill condition of ours, I'm just not going to attack. Your turn.
Yeah, the fact that we know he has Psychic Strike kind of stinks. Like, we gotta like play around that. Especially like with our mulligan, you know, we kind of are down a card, so
yeah, we're forcing you to play, you know, it.
Yeah,
in some aspect.
He wants to, you know, pretty much counter our next good spell. Let's see here. Farseek.
Yeah, I'll let that go. I obviously don't care about Farseek because it's getting to the point where his land count is getting high anyway, and all this is really doing is enabling him his 5-drops, and I can easily counter those with a Psychic Strike, so they're not really that threatening. Alright. Pilgrim is 100% not threatening.
You want to counter that?
No,
Psychic Strike? Alright, I heard it. Did you guys hear it? Yeah.
Now I get to think twice.
Yeah, it's not good. This game's getting way out of hand fast, because now he's got drawing extra cards.
I'm going to play Hallowed Fountain, tapped, continue leaving out my Psychic Strike, and pass the turn. So I've got Psychic Strike or a Flashback Thing twice, both of which are arguably pretty bad for him, because he's on the mulligan and my hand's sculpting up very nicely. I've even got Selection.
Yeah, we really can't do anything because we know he has that. I can't play 2 things in the same turn to run it in. So, we want to pass.
Alright, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to Flashback Thing twice?
Sure. Get that chance.
Yeah. Yeah, this game is like pretty out of reach for Mr. Adam.
We hope not.
You hope wrong.
Well, we'll see.
At this point, we're just looking for like a nice win condition in the form of a Drown Yard. So, piss turn.
Angel.
We're fine with him angeling. Angeling. You can go.
So obviously we were trying to get him to counter that. You know, it'd be sweet if he tapped out for that. Resolve a better threat. We'll get in there.
We're gonna take this.
Okay.
17.
And so that tells me he has like removal plus the counter, but can't play both. Probably will kill it in a turn. Pass. Nope.
Just going to go to our turn.
Yep. Really would like a wolf run to make these Arbor Elves and Avacyn Pilgrim a little scary.
Well, that's somewhat relevant.
Because right now the Augur is just going to kill them pretty quickly. And pushing 1 damage isn't doing me any good.
So we're getting closer to where we want to be.
Really would like to have an Aurelia's Fury right now to negate that counterspell.
Yeah, we still don't want to give him the opportunity to get past our counterspell, so we're going to pass the turn.
Continue to beat down.
Really got to use my life as a resource in this situation, and really get the best advantages that I can possibly get at the most proper time. So we're going to take it.
14.
Yep. We're really under no like form of significant duress.
Go.
Especially considering he's just playing land drops.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when I have more lands than you do. When you run the play.
Yeah, slightly.
Granted, I did far steep.
Yeah. So we're probably at the position where we can strike. So I'm going to get in there for 1.
Oh, good. I mean, he has a sweeper. You might as well block.
It's also just 1 damage.
Yeah.
Like, you taking it?
I will take you 1 damage.
All right. 17 to 14.
Yes.
And now I can safely play a Verdict, getting a nice 3 for 1, and still keeping up my Psychic Strike to keep him off the table.
Unfortunately, now we have enough mana to play 2 threats, but we don't have 2 threats.
Yes.
Triumph.
You have 1 in hand?
2.
2 in hand. Triumph is a card that I can actually pull him back into this game, so to me that's worthy of striking. So I'm going to strike that.
Sure. No, I don't take damage.
Yep, deal 2.
Ah!
Nice! We got two very, very good threats.
Pass.
Alright, now that he's passed the turn, we pretty much have this game on lock.
So we're hoping he only had 1 counterspell at this point.
So we're going to play Liliana.
Sounds good.
Godless Shrine untapped. Going to 12. And then we're going to plus Liliana.
That's pretty good, because we'd like both our cards that we've been holding the whole game.
Which is precisely why I did this, because he's on 2 cards, and I can easily beat those 2 cards with Liliana. If one's a creature, I can kill it, and then I'm just eating another one right
now. If we win this game, it's going to be because of this. So, unfortunately, I got to ditch this, which sad to see it go. But he played that untapped, which means he has either 2 things or a Tameo, which are also bad. But, whatever. Godless Shrine?
Yeah, Godless Shrine. We don't want to, like, get a little beaten by lots of options here, so we're just going to pass the turn. He's got quite a bit of outs that can pull him out of the situation if I tap out.
This is the card we were trying to get resolved earlier.
Alright, so we're going to Snapcaster Mage, Cyclic Strike that.
Yeah, that's pretty much game.
No two.
Unfortunately. Oh, Aurelia's Fury. Come on!
How do you play?
2.
Oh, alright. Might come out. So, might get some Snapcaster beats in here, some Tiago Shanking.
So, like, I generally would like to keep the card in hand for a surprise, but he's potentially just going to keep taking up Liliana, and we definitely want to have it on the table for later. So we'll reveal it as Wolf Run now.
I agree with that 100%.
Pass.
Wolf Run on the table is better than a Wolf Run in hand. Alright, drew a pretty good card, and unfortunately for him, we have a good answer to Wolf Run in Tameo.
That is awesome. So that's the play we had him on last turn. Do you have it last turn or no?
Yes.
Okay. So we had the choice of locking down or keeping up the counter spell, which chose the right route and was able to counter the Garrick, unfortunately.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't want something to slip underneath my defenses. So we're gonna get in for 2 just in case. We haven't drawn a drown here yet, so damage is a possibility here.
It's a realistic possibility because I'm at 15
and pass the turn.
12.
Yeah, and now if he doesn't play anything, I can easily just get it out of his hand. Although that's a pretty good one. That's a good one to play.
I'll make a beast.
Yeah, you will.
So that was like a really good top deck for us. Still a little scary because you can still, it's still going to be a fight to keep it alive. But
yeah, go. We're going to Dimir Chime in a turn because Garrick can pull him out of the situation, so we're looking for an answer.
Okay.
Ugh. I like all of these, but I hate all of these too. We're going to keep this on top and mill a Devour Flesh and Watery Grave.
Okay.
At this point, our best way to beating a Garrick is to ultimate a Tameo. That way we can just like bury him in obvious death.
Yeah, we definitely need an additional threat to get back in this game besides Garrick, but he's a good start.
I also might be able to pull a Garrick kill out with my Snapcaster here. So we're going to tap your Beast and come at Garrick for 2.
Sure.
And actually, that was actually a misplay. I should have just killed the Beast and tapped the Wolf Run.
Yeah, that's what they were going to do. Make me sad.
Yeah, I'm still going to do that because I want to keep the Beast low. And say go. If he can just like never...
That's alright. You could take takesies backsies, but I miss a Triumph trigger and you don't let me take it back.
Oh, well, you're already playing spells. This way actually like lets me kill the Garrick with Snapcaster over the long run. Go. Oh, well, now that we drew that, it's like pretty good.
I don't know if you saw what I drew, but that's what I drew.
So I think we're totally fine sacking Liliana here to keep pressing the Garrick kill.
That's frightening. That means he has another Liliana or something else scary.
And then we're going to come in at Garrick again for 2. And keep the Wolf Run tapped.
Sure.
Go. Now, Tameo here is getting very, very dangerous for him. Yep. That Pilgrim is pretty scary, not going to lie, because we want to get this Garrick dead. So I'm actually going to Psychic Strike that Pilgrim.
Ah.
If that Pilgrim resolves, his Garrick lives, and we don't want that because that's his saving grace right now. All right, mill 2 off the strike.
Oh, yeah. Go.
So here we can put Tameo up at 8 and kill his Planeswalker. So he's at like super Crown Town. I'll play a tapped Fountain, tap your Beast, kill Garrick.
Yeah, we needed help on one of those draw steps. I feel like we had plenty of draw steps, but we just could not get one going. A lot of wind.
Jeez.
Yeah, we have like almost no outs. Attack Tameo.
He's tapped. I tapped him, Tameo.
Oh yeah, you can tap my Wolfram. Sure. So I won't be able to attack there, and we're gonna pass.
Alright, so we can 100% ultimate a Tameo here, and it's probably going to win the game once he sees what's in our hand. So we're going to play yet another land because we have Sphinx's Revelation in our deck, so we want it to be as good as possible now that we have a Tameo on them. So we're going to ultimate Tameo.
What's in your hand?
Is this like a show me in a scoop kind of situation?
This is exactly that situation.
Ultimate Price and Psychic Strike.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think he plays Cavern, so I can literally strike anything he plays, and that will eventually mill him out. That's some good draws, though. I'm Master of Restoration, you know?
Yeah, but you had a counter for each one, so...
I have a counter for each one, and anything that I do let slip under, I can just ultimate price it. Which means I'm probably going to let all the monocolored guys slip under, and Psychic Strike anything multicolor.
Yeah, but you can just counter each one. Like, I only have one draw.
If I have a mana. Like, I might have, like, counter, and, like...
Yeah, but I only have one spell.
Alright, fine. Off the top of our deck was like 2 Drown Yards, so we're gonna...
Yeah, I felt like we could have got back in that game, but our deck did not help us out. We just needed like a creature, any of those draw steps to like let Garrick get ahead of the Snapcaster.
Yeah. All right. So post-set analysis. How'd you feel about your deck?
I feel good about the deck. I still like it. I felt like I got some weird draws. I don't know if I like the up in Mana Dorks.
Okay.
Like Arbor Elf is, fine, and he does what he does well now that he has enough forests.
Do you still like Pilgrim better?
Yeah, I still think I like Pilgrim better.
What about new cards? Any you liked, didn't like? You didn't really
I
play any.
never got to cast Aurelius Fury, so I can't comment. And that's about it. It's the only new card I have. So
I really like the deck. Like obviously the mana, the biggest selling point for playing Naya right now is the mana's like at the best it's gonna be.
Yeah,
and it is better than it was before.
Definitely.
I almost feel like you should be a little bit more greedy with what you're playing. I don't know how, but
Or like add the black back in because I was playing 4-color before.
yeah. Anyway, in terms of my deck, I was really happy with Dimir Charm.
Yeah, Dimir Charm seemed great.
I feel like I did a lot of work, and I was really happy. I didn't get to play Devour Flesh because I punted that game, but I really liked Psychic Strike too. Like I was like able to like keep killing you with my main win condition and like keep threats off the table.
Yeah, I don't think it was like arguably better than any other counter spell you could have played.
Right.
It could have been canceled there, and it would have been just as good.
Right.
The Mill 2, while relevant, I didn't think it was like backbreaking. I didn't think it was necessary to your strategy.
But I'm just saying it helps out the strategy.
If you're in that plan, you might as well play Psychic Strike
over like Dissipate.
Right.
Yeah. My main win condition is a Drown Yard, so getting the extra mills here and there lets me tap my Drown Yard but still get use out of it in terms of killing you. Well, I think that's that.
Yeah. So we went 2-3 in James' favor with his new control deck.
Yep, I think Dimir Charm was pretty good.
Yeah, I actually gained a lot of respect for Dimir Charm in this game. Seemed like it did a ton of work.
All right, well, thanks for watching, and see you again next time.
Yeah, we'll be back soon with more playtest videos.